Are you an avid enjoyer of Western movies and Western video games like Red Dead Redemption? Well, I've got you covered today with these enhancements to make Fallout New Vegas that much more Western than it already is. I've got you covered, so sit back, relax, and check out these bloody mods.
What in the goddamn?
What this mods does is adds Raul's Mexican Bandito outfit in a chest in Goodsprings just outside the main general store. It's pretty awesome. I do really like the Bandito outfit that Raul has in the main game after completing these actual side quests. And yeah, now you can actually have this for the player character, which you couldn't in previously. So all you need to do is pick it up from the chest and equip it for the main character. I do have a retexture this by Bale, and it will completely retexture the armor to make it so much better and that much more next gen. It does look absolutely incredible. We're not going to forget the Banditos, because the Banditos were a main thing in the Western times. Now next up we have Cowboy fanning and spinning weapons. So pretty much this mod will let you spin and fan any type of revolver or lever action rifle or shotgun in the game. So pretty much just once you downloaded this, now you can actually fan with a key press of any type of revolver or repeated weapon in Fallout New Vegas. As you can see, these one-handed 357 revolver I'm using currently, it does actually let me fan it. And also with the rifles as well, I can spin them around like an absolute cowboy badass. Now you can roleplay as John Marston or the man with no name in Fallout New Vegas. It's pretty fucking awesome. Make sure you read the mod descriptions page to get more information on this mod. It also comes with cool equipped and unequipped animations for the revolvers and the rifles. As you can see, now you are spinning the actual pistols around in your hand every time you unequipped and equipped them. Make sure you read the mod description so you can change the ini files to choose how frequent you want these animations to play. This mod adds in the spaghetti western ricochet sounds that you hear in the old spaghetti western movies, like the ones with Clint Eastwood in them. They do sound like screaming cats though. This is a custom Clint Eastwood player race, so you can roleplay as Clint Eastwood in Fallout New Vegas. Clint Eastwood is one of the main characters from the old spaghetti western movies that are extremely famous back in the day, and now you can actually play as him in Fallout New Vegas. You can actually change his two types of hairstyle, and if you really wanted to, you can add a big scruffy beard on him too. And it looks pretty much identical to Clint Eastwood. So if you want to roleplay as an actual cowboy from the old spaghetti western movies, well, I've got you covered with this mod because it looks pretty incredible and it looks pretty much identical to Clint Eastwood character, the man with no name from the old spaghetti westerns. Remember, when downloading these mods, make sure you follow the requirements on the mod pages and also see if there's any things you need to change in the custom inis. To make it even more western, we need to add a bunch of cowboy and western outfits. This is cowboy and western outfit pack, and pretty much what it does, it adds a bunch of western themed outfits just for the male characters, and there's quite a lot to go through, so we're just going to show a bunch off here. And you do get the iconic man with no name outfit, the blondie one, and then you also get a bunch of others like Lawman one and Bounty Hunter type versions. And sadly, you do not get any hats with this, so we're going to actually show you exactly how to grab some hats to go with these outfits. But as you can see, these outfits look pretty nice, and if you do want to roleplay as a cowboy from the Western times, these outfits will be perfect. So instead of the Banditos, we now have the Cowboys. And yeah, the texture quality on these are pretty decent actually, they're not too bad. I think if you have your own texture quality mods with texture packs, this will probably be included with this armor from what I can tell. You cannot be a cowboy without two Akimbo revolvers. This is Sigma Akimbo revolvers, and pretty much what this does, it adds in 8 new revolvers that all dual wield. So you will have 8 different variants, and they all have different custom skins for each type of revolver, and some of them, especially the fancy looking ones, have their own custom animations which will spin them around on your finger. Now if you want to roleplay as that dickhead Micah from the Red Dead Redemption 2 because he likes his Akimbo revolvers, now you can. And yeah, it looks pretty awesome, pretty incredible, and in first person and third person it does work pretty well. The third person animations are actually done as well, so you can actually use this in third person and reload them without it looking slightly janky. It's pretty powerful against NPCs, and as you can see, these are the actual skins on the weapons you can get. I don't know what that dickhead was doing, but yeah, now you can actually get different variations of them with different custom animations when you reload them both. And they do look pretty good, they actually are pretty well done. An incredible feature from the Red Dead Redemption games, Deadeye, is now in Fallout New Vegas. This is just a bullet time add-on mod that will allow the player character to use Deadeye, and it's pretty awesome. So as you can see, when I'm using the bullet time addition mod, that will allow the player character to use Deadeye. So all you need to do is hover over an NPC or an enemy character, and it will actually mark him with the Deadeye symbol, just like you've seen in the Red Dead Redemption video games, and it works quite well. Obviously, if you're using a weapon with not many bullets in the actual chambers, you will actually constantly have to reload, and it will take you out of the Deadeye mode. But it's fairly simple to use. I'll run with it again. All you need to do is hit the bullet time mode that you get from the Jam Assortments mod, which is a requirement for this mod, and then just hover over any NPC or enemy you're fighting with, and it will automatically tag them when you hover over. Then you just need to click the shoot key, and then obviously it will activate it, and it's pretty much exactly just like Deadeye from the Red Dead Redemption video games. It's well implemented, and it does go quite well into Fallout New Vegas. So I'll be keeping this on my mod list so I can roleplay John Marston or Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2. Now we have the Winchester model 1873 by Nichego, and this pretty much just adds in the main rifle that was used in the Wild West, and it looks pretty awesome. You get about 5 or 6 different variations of this, including unique versions and different skins on the rifle. Luckily, Fallout New Vegas has so many types of Western revolvers and Western rifles from that time period that we don't really need to add many in. Overall, a very good mod. Now we have the Winchester 1895 that was used right at the back end of the Wild West, and I do really like the animations on this when you reload, and actually the sounding of the actual weapon as well sounds so meaty, and you can actually hear the bullets whizzing round and the echo-ness of the bullets. I do really like the animations for the reload, and using interact and inspect, this actually looks pretty incredible. The texture quality on this is pretty awesome as well, and I probably will be keeping this in my mod list. Like I said, used right at the end of the Wild West, but I can feature this because it looks absolutely incredible. The Winchester variants look so amazing, and if you want to roleplay that much more as a cowboy, make sure you grab this rifle. I think it is based off the one from Battlefield 1. Now this next up mod will change EDE to a Vaquero or a Bandito type companion, and now you'll exactly know what I mean. So taking on these dudes in Prim, all you need to do is go up to EDE and you'll notice something slightly different. He's got a big fucking sombrero on his head. After repairing him, he's pretty much exactly the same, and he pretty much now just wears a big ass sombrero on his head. It's pretty cute, but it's pretty fucking awesome at the same time. Now if you want to include that much more Western stuff to your game, now you can have a big sombrero on EDE's head. This does also include EDE from The Divide, so you can also have a sombrero on his head as well. Very cool little addition that makes it quite funny actually. But yeah, now he's got a big ass sombrero on his head, and he looks like a robot Vaquero. And if you didn't notice, his name is Eduardo now as well, so he's completely changed his name. Now this mod will give you that cinematic experience from the old Western movies. This is Bonnie Springs Viper Shootout. Now this will completely change Bonnie Springs for an Adobe aesthetic. All the buildings will be changed, the actual area is a lot larger, and it's just so much better. So we'll show you a vanilla version of this area, and as you can see, it's very drab. None of the buildings are enterable, and there's a few enemy types, and it's not really the best, and this area just wasn't really thought of. Now with this mod, you'll have to take down a bunch of Vipers, so make sure you get your best cowboy weapons out and become the best gunslinger in the West. Now, all the buildings in this area are pretty much enterable. You've got a clinic, you've got the main villa at the back, and you've actually got a police station. So all these buildings I've talked of are all enterable, and they've also got enemies inside. So you will have to take down a lot of Vipers, but it gives you that old Western aesthetic to this area. There is a lot more Adobe mods on the Nexus that you can also check out that'll also give you that aesthetic. But I do love this mod, and it completely changes this whole area and makes it an area you actually want to visit and take down a bunch of Vipers. This will make your level increase so much more, but as you can see, the actual buildings are enterable and very well thought of. I've got to say, props to this mod author, because now Bonnie Springs is an area I'll always go to. Now you've probably always wondered, when you put your weapons away, they're kind of just floating, and how is that even possible? But now with this mod, this allows the player character to actually have holsters on his back and his waist, so you can actually select the holsters by pressing the select key of your choosing, and now you can select for a bunch of types of holsters for each type of weapon you've got. So this is the Cowboy Repeater, and I've selected this beige coloured holster that goes quite well with this rifle. Now you can also do the same with pistols, and you can change the type of holsters you can get for any type of pistol. I'm pretty sure this changes for the NPCs too, so the NPCs will also be using holsters, which is pretty cool addition. Now for all you Red Dead Redemption lovers, we have the Red Dead Redemption Redemption 2 armor mashup. So this is pretty much inspired by Red Dead Redemption 2. And as you can see, it's pretty much just Arthur's outfits that he wears in that game. Now this is his main outfit, this is the gunslinger outfit, and then this is the summer gunslinger outfit. So this is the best outfits to wear if you want to be the gunslinger in New Vegas's Wild West. And they do look pretty decent. Texture quality's not amazing, but it's not too bad. Fits quite well into Vegas with that texture quality. But yeah, overall a very decent mod, and you can now dress up as Arthur Morgan. Now you're probably wondering where are all the cowboy hats? Well, with distributed cowboy accessories found on Discord, you can now grab a bunch of cowboy hats and ponchos for your player character. Now there's quite a lot of go through, but they do look pretty incredible, and the texture quality on these are pretty god awesome. So as you can see, this is the Daryl's poncho from the Daryl's mod, but now the player character can actually wear it, and you get a bunch of cool cowboy hats and masks so you can look like an actual bandit in the Wild West. These, if you wear them together, they do look pretty incredible, I've got to say, with the actual combinations you can make from these pieces of armor. Some of them look pretty badass. Now you can live the Wild West dreams of being the coolest motherfucking gunslinger in the Wild West. A mod that I nearly missed out on is the New Vegas Bounties mod. Now there's 3 parts to this mod, but we're just going to tell you about the first one. So pretty much what you can do is become a bounty hunter in Fallout New Vegas, and all you need to do is go to the Prim location, and then you can start your bounty hunting escapades right there. So you get a decent amount of caps. There's quite a lot of NPCs that are voiced.
Welcome to Randall and Associates. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Stephen Randall, owner and operator. I assume you're here for the position, correct?
After agreeing to do bounties, you can hunt down various targets, just like this guy up in the hills. After dealing with the bounties, all you need to do is return back to Stephen Randall and give him the finger that you grabbed off the corpse, and then you can carry on to the next bounty. So there is 3 versions of this. You get Bounties 1, Bounties 2 and Bounties 3, which are all different mods made by the same dude, but they're very fleshed out with a bunch of NPCs that are voiced, and they sound pretty good as well. Anyways, that's it, motherfuckers, cocksuckers. Now you can be John Marston and be an absolute beast of a gunslinger. See you later.